Good morning. Morning Musings by Melinda. How's everybody doing today? It rained and was snowing in Phoenix yesterday. I put a post out that Phoenix is as hot as hell in the summertime, and since it snowed in Phoenix, that hell froze over. So anything that you said you weren't going to do till hell froze over, you better do if you live here in Phoenix. We're talking about intuition today. And I think sometimes we get mixed up between what intuition is and what psychic ability is. Everyone has intuition, an intuitive part of them. You know, that inner voice that says, don't turn here, but you turn anyway, and then you run into either traffic or you're behind a fire engine or an accident. That was your intuition trying to guide you. We feel things in our gut. That's our intuition also. Or we kind of feel something is off if we walk into a room where somebody's had a fight and we didn't see it or we didn't hear it. That's intuitive also. You know, the most intuitive people on the planet are policemen. They have an intuitive gut feel of things. So you can be intuitive or using your intuition without necessarily being psychic. And I think there is a lot of misunderstandings about which is which. So there are 10 things that highly intuitive people do differently. So if you want to fine tune or sharpen your intuition, which is actually one of the things that you are given automatically at birth, is that sixth sense or that intuitive part of you as a human being. Remember that everything on this planet is about how energy transmits to each other and through the universe to us and through God to us. So if you want to sharpen that intuition that is a God-given part of who you are, understanding how the energy frequency of intuition works within you, then these are the 10 things that you can do in order to sharpen that. Number 1, dedicate time to being alone. Intuitive people like some alone time. Have you ever known that person that just couldn't stand to be alone no matter what? It's because they don't know, honor, and respect themselves. They have something empty inside that they try to fill with a lot of noise or stimulation. And if you're one of those people that needs to be stimulated constantly, even if you're alone, the TV is on or the radio is on or whatever. When this is talking about being alone, this is talking about being alone within the energy field of your own self with your own thoughts and just spending time either walking, that's a walking meditation, or just sitting and being. That dedication to time alone helps sharpen your intuition. Practice mindfulness. Intuitive people engage in the practice of mindfulness, meaning that you are staying in the moment of life and your mind isn't on what happened back there or what's going to happen in front of you, but that you're staying in this moment in time and enjoying it or being quiet and observing it. So practice mindfulness. Notice the signs of someone's body language. That's part of being intuitive. An intuitive person can tune into their own body. Your body will tell you 1,000 things, right? If you have butterflies in your stomach or you're feeling something, that's a sign of your intuition. And you'll also then watch other people's body language to be intuitive about how they feel. If somebody's sitting with their arms folded and their shoulders up like this, then their body language is closed, right? And you can call somebody out, like I often will call somebody out, I'm not in somebody's boundary system. I only call people out if they've agreed to come to one of my workshops or classes, because in coming, they are giving me permission to help them understand and grow and to define themselves. So oftentimes when we're in a workshop setting, if somebody's sitting like that, I may call them out and saying, your body language is closed. What am I saying that doesn't resonate with you? How can I clarify that differently? Participate in creative projects is absolutely part of your intuition. For some reason, my entire family loves to decorate. Well, for some reason, my mother was an interior decorator, and even before she did that, our home when we were growing up was always decorated beautifully. My father made tables. We had a table in the living room that my father made, and my mother was very good at putting things together. So we've kind of gotten that part of who she was into all of us, my sisters and I. We love to decorate. And, I'm so blessed because Bill is so good-natured about if I'm sitting there and say, I want to move that picture, or I want to change that pillow. And that's my creative flow. And I always decorate my front door for every season. Creative projects are great. Even if you just do a paint by number or one of those adult coloring books, it helps sharpen your intuition. You need to understand that synchronicities are everywhere. Synchronized energy, meaning coincidences, which aren't really coincidences, but rather pathways of energy that the universe is showing you, or God is showing you, for direction and for understanding balance and so on. When something comes together in synchronicity and things are kind of laid out in front of you and you follow that path, it sharpens your intuition. If something that you want, there's always a roadblock or something that gets in your way, that's the universe telling you, don't do that, right? So you have to pay attention to what's synchronized and what's not. You have to exercise empathy to be intuitive, meaning that you have to understand what other people are feeling. And this is something that we've completely lost in this country right now, is the empathy to feel for each other. Regardless of where we are politically, we need to feel for each other and find a way to move together and exercise empathy daily. When we're chatting with someone who has a different opinion than we do, it's not nice to be nasty. It's nice to empathize that they actually have a true belief system and feeling, and to give them that empathy. Release negativity. Easier said than done. We're all stuck in COVID. It's been really, really hard. And I think when there's a light at the end of the tunnel, like right now, as vaccines are coming out and all the controversy over vaccines, which I honestly don't understand, but I do practice empathy with people who are afraid. I understand fear. We all understand fear, but we have to release fear and negativity the best we can. It's a preventive from, using your intuition. And where it's most of an example is when someone is wanting a relationship so bad and they are constantly upset because they don't have somebody come to them, or their relationships suck. It's usually because they are in a state of fear and they're settling and not waiting for the universe to bring that divine right compliment. So highly intuitive people tend to remember things. They have a good memory. They have vivid dreams, and they remain optimistic. So there are some ways of understanding intuition. I've got a second paper here that has a few differences on it. This one says you tend to be an introvert. I know that I look like an extrovert because I'm talking every morning and chatting with people all day, but I'm actually an introvert. And an introvert is somebody that gets energy by being by themselves. So I need time by myself and with myself, or I'll feel very agitated. So at lunchtime, for example, my door stays shut. I bring my lunch here and I spend that time to myself and by myself, and I eat and then I meditate. And I need that introspective energy in order to be able to do the work that I do. So if you're an extrovert, that's okay too. It means that you get energy from other people, but maybe practice a little bit of introspection so that you can fine-tune your intuition. And I think that this one looks like it has just a bit of the same things. This says you tend to overanalyze. I'm not sure about that, and that you play devil's advocate. And again, I think maybe when you're intuitive, you do look at both sides of things. Again, that's why policemen tend to be more intuitive, because they have to look at all kinds of, sides of things in order to intuit what's going on if they're trying to solve a crime. Anyway, Glasgow. Hello, Elaine from Glasgow. So nice of you to be watching. Welcome. I hope that you are all doing fantastic. I've got to find a time. Someone asked me to please do some weekly meditations. Well, you know, my time is a little bit of a crunch, but I will find a time to maybe do one once a month, and I do need to do another morning where I'm doing some readings for you, and I will be happy to do that soon. Let me take a look at my calendar and see how I can make that happen, okay? Suzanne, thank you for loving the daily messages. That really makes me happy. I appreciate that so much. And I hope that you have a fine day. And again, it snowed in Phoenix, so hell froze over. So do whatever you said you weren't going to do unless hell froze over. I think that's really hilarious. I'm sorry. Have a great day.